What's up, guys? Welcome back to Chats with the Freak. My name is Emmy, and this week we got Dematus from Pittsburgh. How are you guys doing today?
Really good.
I'm doing good.
Awesome. I hope everybody's staying safe with all the crazy virus stuff going on out there. I saw that you guys did a live acoustic thing on your Facebook last night.
Yeah, it was really cool to entertain everybody who's stuck at home, not doing anything, going crazy. So we just wanted to bring like joy to everybody and bring an acoustic set. And a lot of people who haven't had a chance to see us was actually able to watch our acoustic set. And so it was really cool to reach people that have never been able to come to one of our shows.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I've been noticing like there's different artists that have been doing that, and I love the fact I just actually watched William Duvall's live performance on Facebook, and I love seeing that. And I love seeing musicians like taking advantage of this awesome technology we have in such a crazy time right now.
Yeah, you definitely have to get creative. That's the thing, is like to just not go insane and to also keep like trying to reach fans out there and keep doing what you love to do. It's just like got to get creative.
Yeah, for sure, especially with everything getting pretty much put on the back burner until it looks like about end of May into June now. Everything's like getting messed up, and I feel like the music industry is definitely taking the biggest hit when it comes to stuff getting canceled or whatever the case may be for all this craziness going on right now.
Yeah, I was kind of saddened to see last night. It was like Double Driver. Dez was like posting a thing about how everyone should buy stock in Live Nation, for $40, just buy stock in it. And I was like, wow, it's just insane to hear, people are saying like to keep it going, like to keep Live Nation going, to buy stock in it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just everything's going down right now. And like I said, I feel like the music industry and the arts industry, even like with theater and different stuff like that, is definitely taking the biggest brunt of the hit when it comes to all this stuff.
It definitely won't be the end of it. Like, we're going to definitely bounce back. It's just a huge setback, and everything's just we'll just have to just keep doing what we do, like always.
Yeah, just keep sticking out there and keep grinding and trying to, once this opens, everyone's going to be ready to go and hit the ground running as soon as those like doors open, per se.
Yep, everyone's going to be so cooped up. It's just like they want to get out.
Yeah, mad cabin fever for sure. So I was reading the bio for you guys on your EPK, and I saw that you are trained as a flutist, and Ryan had like some sort of like a jazz background. Yep. How does that kind of, I think that's really cool, but I'm kind of curious, how does that translate into you guys' songwriting? Because you guys have a little bit of a Evanescence, like in this moment kind of feel, at least to me. So I was kind of wondering how that like translates.
What do you say, Ryan?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I know a lot of jazz musicians go towards metal when they get away from jazz. It's like, because jazz is pretty difficult, and so is metal. A lot of people can't go, like, say, from country to metal. But jazz, for some reason, it's seamless. I've met tons and tons of metal musicians that used to be jazz artists, and it was I've heard the same through some big musicians as well. They all started off with jazz. I don't even know what it was. I don't know if we're actually taking inspiration from it, or if it was like the next complicated thing that we could conquer that people would be interested in. Not that people aren't interested in jazz, but like, want to play for bigger audiences than like jazz clubs and stuff.
Yeah, jazz clubs definitely have like their niche, and I love jazz, and I'm definitely not like throwing any shade towards that. I have a lot of appreciation for it, but it's like a niche kind of genre, and they don't play, like you said, they play to like small clubs usually. So definitely translating, if I could see how like wanting to go into going to bigger audiences and stuff like that would translate.
Like, I know, just like my flute playing, like I wouldn't say that it has like really has a play in my music writing. It's just like, I don't know, like flute playing was like a huge part of me learning music. I mean, like in 6th grade, like that's like where I was really getting into like learning how to read music and everything about music. So it's like it was definitely a huge part of me on like just learning to write melodies, like melodic stuff that makes you feel, because like playing classical music is just like I like just paid attention to how just like these notes would clash and, you know, like make you feel tense, and then like a part that will build up, like parts will build up and make you feel like you're waiting for something to happen. So like you learn a lot from playing like flute or any classical instrument. Like you're like feeling music.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, because there's no, especially with classical, there's not usually any sort of vocals or lyrics or anything. So having the rise and falls, kind of, you have to like feel that.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally get that. So how did you guys end up doing metal, like rock and metal? How did you guys make like that transition?
I think I like joined a metal band like with my guitar, and I wasn't even the vocalist at the time. I was just the guitar player, and I was just like interested in joining a band. Like I was like in another band as a vocalist, but I wanted to play guitar in a band. So like this band let me in, and like that band ended up being like a band that I like stuck with for so long, and like eventually like kind of like mutated into the band that we have now, because it started out like with me joining the band with the bass player that I have now with different members, and it's like slowly like changing members out, and it was just like was always like a metal band. Like it was just like just happened. I wasn't really looking to join a metal band. It's just like things just like fell into place, and that's where I started. And then like whenever I eventually ended up becoming the vocalist, I wanted to, like, I actually couldn't scream at the time. Like I actually got kicked out of the band that I was in for not being able to scream. And so one day, whenever we kept going through so many vocalists, they were like, Jess, why don't you become our vocalist? Because I was just the guitar player at the time. And so I eventually took over vocalist, and they talked me into screaming. And so I eventually picked up screaming and then added in my singing to it, and that's how we ended up being who we are now.
That's really cool. So I do have to ask you, I've like read stuff about it, but I've never actually talked to somebody who's made the transition from singing to screaming. How would you compare the two, and how would you say they're different? Because I know screaming has like its own kind of art to it, because you don't want to like blow out your vocal cords, obviously.
Yeah. Like I just feel like, I don't know if this is like the answer you're looking for. It's just like I feel like you can have so much emotions like with the screaming, like you can really get into it. And then like the singing is like, I mean, you can get into the singing too, but it's like it feels good to combine the two, you know, like it's just like I feel like I can show so much like with like what I want to get across. I just like enjoy doing it. Like I like enjoying doing both, and it's just like feels good to be able to cross that line. Like because it's like some of these songs that I write, I'm like, man, I want to do screaming for this one. Like I just feel it, I hear it, like I just want to go with that. And then like I have these songs where it's just like, man, I just feel like singing this. So like it feels good to be able to cross over on both sides and show like different like vocal emotions, you know.
Yeah, and be very versatile and express how exactly you're feeling.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I don't like I'm not stuck in a box like at all, because it's like I can do like whatever I want. Like if I want to make like a lot of the songs off of the new CD that we're gonna put out, like I think on a couple of them I just want straight screaming, which I don't think I have one really like that. So this is gonna be like rare to have some of these songs that are just gonna be really heavy, but it's just like that's just how they sound in my head. I was like, man, this one is what is going to take vocally for this one. Like you just know, like whenever you're writing a song, like this is like you start singing on top of it and you're like, like no, this like definitely heavy vocals belong on this.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely can hear that, especially like in the last EP you guys released, Slideshow. Definitely can hear that because it had a really heavy mix of like really heavy, like some songs had heavier vocals, some songs had like the lighter, like you were saying. So I kind of, that's where I got the In This Moment feel, because Maria Brink does that a lot too. And like if you listen to earlier In This Moment records, like the song Gun Show, that song is just straight like scream vocals, as opposed to something like River of Fire off the last record, which is very like light and airy and doesn't have like as heavy screams.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely I really like the last EP that you guys put out. So is there anything you can tell me about the new music you guys are working on?
Yeah, like
There's some guitar and bass and drums in it.
Oh, that's cool. No way. Oh my God.
But I feel like this one, I'm like really excited about this one because it's gonna be a 12 or more. Like I think we're talking about, I think this one right now the current count is 14 songs maybe. So it's gonna be like a full CD, which is the first for us. And it's gonna be like half and half. Like I always like to keep a perfect balance. Like, and it also just ends up being that way. Like where it just happens to be perfectly balanced, where I have like metal, like half metal and half rocks, and then just like, you know, it's just like keeping that perfect balance of what I love, because I really love rock music and I like metal, so it's just like I always want to keep the two like perfectly balanced.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to hear finally a full-length album from you guys. You guys have 2 EPs out, is that right? Okay. I'm more familiar with the newer one that you guys had out last September. How was the reception of that?
Which one are we talking about?
Slideshow.
Slideshow, one that came out in September.
It's pretty good. Have we ordered our second batch of those yet?
Yeah,
we've already gone through 2 orders of those CDs. I think people really like the songs on them. They were done at a different studio. The first one we did at Spider Studios, and then this one we did at Audio Bridge. And Audio Bridge had a lot more, I think the feel to it was a lot better because it was a lot more lighthearted. Like when we're there, I think we're having more fun than we are being productive. But then it leads to us being more productive. I don't know. It's really weird.
it's just like kind of like our first one, Ghost Carnival, is just like clashing like with like personalities. It's just like, and then like with dealing with Audio Bridge, it's just like it's like literally night and day. It's just like you're going there and it's just like such an enjoyable environment, like hanging out with somebody that you can laugh with, and then like musically be productive too. It's just like he has like a very good input on your music, and it's like all lighthearted. It's just like very, I don't know, it's just like was night and day. So I really enjoyed doing our Sideshow, and that's who we're going back with to record our full CD is Audio Bridge.
Is that located in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it's like in New Kensington.
Cheswick.
Oh, Cheswick.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with a lot of recording studios up there, but I've heard that name before, so that's really cool. Yeah, I really like the production on the last EP you guys put out.
Yeah, like it's a really cool studio because he even does really cool things for local artists. Like if you're in another band and you get with other bands in the area and you want to do a cover song together, like he's bringing all these different bands together to work together. You can go into a studio and like record, and I think like I don't know if he's still doing it, but it was like free, like where you can just go there and record the song together and like as one. And I was like, that was cool that he's trying to bring other people together to work together, because I mean in the end, like that's like how we should all be. Like we all should support each other and work together.
Yeah, I love that about the Pittsburgh scene, is everyone has a very like community kind of vibe to it, especially in the rock and metal scene. I can't really speak for any other genre because I'm not familiar, but definitely in those 2 genres I felt a big sense of community.
Yeah, it's nice because I mean nobody really gets anywhere if you're just not helping each other. If you're going against the grain and just like in the end you're gonna end up alone. Like it's better to just like help, like reach out a hand, pull forward, you know, and the other person should turn around and like bring you forward and just like make things go a lot nicer and easier.
Yeah, have better vibes, and don't necessarily be selfish and be like, oh, I want all this for myself, and just try to help everybody out. I totally get that. People get too competitive sometimes, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it's not sports. That's what I never understood. Like, I feel like I never have enough music to listen to, so like I feel like it's not a limited amount of bands that can make it. Like, it's not like there's like only 20 bands in this world can make it and nobody else. Like, there isn't really a cap. Like, I feel like I don't have enough music to listen to. It's like, so it's just like, why hate on each other, and just keep doing what you do and let the other bands do what they do, and that way we could have all more music to listen to while we're at work, like while we're driving, you know, working out. It'd be great.
Yeah, no, exactly. I totally get that. I hate when I see like a competition kind of vibe going on, because it's like, well, and it's usually of two bands that I would love to see like do work together. And I'm just like, what are you guys doing? This is stupid. Yeah, I totally can relate to that. So I'm not, the stereotypical interviewer question is always, what are your influences? I am not going to ask that, but there is something I do want to talk to Jess about. We talked about Mr. John 5 before, and I definitely want to bring him up talking about this. John is one of my favorite human beings on the fucking planet, and I am so happy that I have someone on here that shares my love for this man.
Yeah, he's definitely a big influence on my guitar playing. Like, I remember whenever I was younger, I was just starting out on playing guitar. My parents said that I could either get the GNX4 workstation, which is a guitar pedal that records, and I was like, man, that would be really awesome because I could record my songs and like get better at it. Or my parents were like, you can go and meet John 5 at, I think it was Musicians Institute, and take one of his classes that he was offering. And that was like a huge battle, because I was just like, man, I would love to meet like my idol and get better at guitar playing from his teachings. But then I really want that pedal. And I told myself, you know what, one day, because I decided to get the pedal because I was like, one day I'm going to like work my way up into meeting John 5. So that's still a goal of mine. I'm going to like one day open up for John 5 and get to meet him. And like, I refuse to meet him any other way. I've had so many people offer me to go and meet him like behind the scenes, you know, like, and it's just like, I don't want it. Like, I want to stick to my childhood self and work my way up to meeting him by earning my spot on like on stage, like opening up.
We technically played with him, but we didn't get to meet him.
Yeah.
we did that the VIP pre-show thing for the Rob Zombie and Korn show, but we didn't get to meet John.
Yeah, so that doesn't count.
Yeah.
It was close enough. It's fine. No, that's really admirable. I remember you were telling me that story, and that I totally can relate to that, because when you get your like mind set on something, it's like, I'm not meeting this person unless I earned it. And I definitely can appreciate that.
He's a huge idol of mine. Like, just an amazing guitarist. I love how he plays different music. Like, he can go over there and play chicken picking guitar playing style, you know, and then like speed metal, you know, doing arpeggios and like sweep picking. Like, he's just very, very, very talented on so many genres of music, and that's why I really, really idolize him. Like, I would love to sit down with him one day and just have a lesson one-on-one to improve my guitar playing, because he's just somebody to always look up to.
Yeah, for sure. No, I definitely can fully agree on that, because the last album that he did with the Creatures, the Invasion record that came out last July, he had a song on there that was very country. It was called Howdy, and it had a very, like, there was some banjo in it, whatever. And then one of the singles off of it was called Crank It, and that was like a borderline like EDM song. And it's wild to hear the variety of music that man can play, especially like just from one track to the next. It's
and I just love, I remember one time reading in one of his articles that he said that no matter what, he's never going to be the best guitar player ever, because he's like, there's always still so much left to learn. And I agree, like no matter what, like there's like so much left to learn. Like you'll never be the best guitar player, because there's like, the guitar is like one of these instruments where it's just like there's so much left to always forever know.
Yeah, no, I totally fully agree with that. Like everybody usually has like whatever niche that they do, unless you're John 5, you can just play fucking whatever. But like usually every guitar player is like the best of like their genre. And I don't really think that there will ever be like just an all-time like best guitar player. Maybe like personally to somebody, this is like my favorite or my opinion of a best guitar player, but across the board, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Well, I think that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for taking time to come on my podcast. I really appreciate
you guys having us. Like, it's really cool to like just reach out to people in so many different ways. And whenever you posted that, I definitely wanted to come on your show and talk to you. Like, I know we talked through messages, but it's really cool to actually hear your voice, you know, and like I'm really excited to be part of your show
and actually verbally talk. This is fantastic. Thanks to Dakota for hooking this up, by the way. I will shout out Devil Inside Promotions for this. I do appreciate that. He always sends me awesome artists and has always been a really big supporter of MC Media.
You know he's gonna be on like afterwards, like, I told you. Finally.
Yeah, and then he's gonna send me like some goat memes or whatever, and it'll be fine.
Oh my gosh! Yep.
Well, thank you so much again. I hope you guys have a great night and stay safe. Okay.